Alright, today we're talking about one battle after another. And I just saw this movie last night with my son, and man, this movie was intense as hell. Directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, one of my all-time favorite modern directors. He also made one of my top 3 greatest movies of all time, There Will Be Blood. It's crazy to think that that movie was almost 20 years ago, and PTA is still punching up, trying to compete with some of his classics. So going into this movie, I wasn't really sure what it would be about. The trailer was a little bit vague on what the plot was, just a lot of people with guns. At first, this movie seems like it's left-wing woke propaganda, but as the movie goes on, you see that it's actually a critique of America's political climate today. Essentially, this movie's about Antifa versus ICE, but they paint ICE as cartoon villains, and it shows the character flaws of the people in the Antifa gang, but they're called French 75. And the irony is they're trying to save the world because they're virtuous, but a lot of them are self-centered narcissists. And it's starring Teyana Taylor, that chick from that Kanye video with the abs. She's a feminist caricature, selfish, domineering, emasculating her men, turning them into cucks, and she abandons her family under the banner of living her truth. But she's just obsessed with herself. She's pro-choice and incapable of true loyalty. And the movie's message is clear. Feminism here doesn't liberate women, it corrodes them. And this movie criticizes ICE agents, the government, and left-wing liberals at the same time. And I don't know when he started making this movie, but it feels like this movie could have been made last week. This shit is unbelievably topical and current to what's going on in America today. And over the last year, or more than that, since COVID, the United States has been a complete shit show. And we just had a new election of Trump, and now everyone on the left is going absolutely mad, burning down buildings, rioting, shooting up schools, shooting political figures. This is like some shit out of a dystopian horror film. But what's crazy is we're not living in a movie. This is real life. I don't know when PTA started writing or directing this movie, but movies usually take about a year to make, and Trump hasn't even been in office a year. PTA's over here like Quasimodo predicting all this. So this movie, what it's about is the left versus the right, but more so it's about America tearing apart at the seams. The film uses the backdrop of radical groups clashing as a metaphor for the decay of the country's soul. Both sides claim they're fighting for freedom, but what they're really doing is exposing how ideology has replaced humanity. Everyone's too busy proving a point to actually help anyone. The real enemy isn't one side or the other, it's the system of blind tribalism that consumes them both. So Teyana Taylor, who does a very good job in this movie by the way, she pursues her freedom at the cost of everyone else, and that's the contradiction of her character. She's out here freeing illegal immigrants from ICE, but at home she's a deadbeat mom. She abandons her baby and her husband to go hook up at night with the general who's deporting all the immigrants. Make it make sense. And then when the shit gets funky, when the heat comes down, she snitches out her whole crew, which really shows the hypocrisy of some of these radical lefters. It's like rules for thee, not for me. So it has you looking at her like, is she really good or is she just doing this for the show? Is this all performative? She's completely self-centered, shooting off an automatic rifle while 9 months pregnant, not even realizing her baby could be born deaf, and getting drunk immediately after. She's more focused on herself and her own needs than the child that's growing inside of her. And once the child is born, she gets jealous of her own daughter for the attention that Leonardo's showing her. And that's how psychotic it makes some of these people out to be, where they don't even care for their own children. Everything's about me, me, me. And you have Leonardo DiCaprio. He plays the everyman who started out in the movie as a hardcore freedom fighter, but his submission to his woman ended up destroying his masculinity, and now he mopes around like a sad old man. And he basically turns into a cuck. She's leaving late at night, not saying anything, and it's got you thinking, who does the baby really belong to? And once the baby starts cramping her style, she dips out, leaves him forced to raise the kid on his own. And his daughter represents the next generation, inheriting this toxic culture, while every adult is too selfish or immature to guide her. And you got Shawn Penn, who plays a cartoonish version of Mad Dog Mattis, a racist xenophobe war general who's projecting his racism to hide his lust for interracial relationships. And my one major critique of the movie is just the over-the-top amount of racism. Like Shawn Penn's trying to join this club that's basically the Illuminati, but he's got to be pure. He could never have had sex with a black woman in his life. Like, no club is really going to be like that. Thomas Jefferson sired black babies. What, he wouldn't be allowed to be in the club? He's literally the fucking president. So that's where I draw the line. Sometimes when you take it too far over the edge, it becomes unbelievable, and then you kind of lose credibility. That's my only critique with it. But this movie is walking a razor's edge. In the wrong hands, this could get real ugly. We're living in a time of ICE raids, school and church shootings, the Charlie Kirk assassination. The air is already filled with gasoline. And if you hand this movie to someone unstable, it's basically a blueprint for chaos. And that's the dangerous game it plays. It's entertainment, but it's also showing you exactly how the system can fall apart. But the genius of this movie is the risk. It's more than just propaganda, it's a critique. It's not glorifying Antifa or ICE or any political side. It's just showing how America chews itself alive when tribalism replaces empathy. It's essentially showing you what happens when people stop being human and start living as hashtags. Whether it's Antifa or ICE, left or right, it's all the same game, and we're the ones paying the price. One battle after another is less about sides and more about the death of authenticity, and nails it. And it hits hard because it's not far off from the world we see in our feeds every day. And hopefully it doesn't inspire copycats. Hopefully it can wake people up to just how insane this cultural climate has gotten. But I won't hold my breath. This movie's a warning, and depending on who's watching, it could be a mirror or a match. And that's what makes it so intense and terrifying. And possibly the most dangerous critique of America we've seen in years. In the end, this movie's less about politics and more about performative activism and authoritarian enforcement and the narcissism that defines modern culture. And nobody comes out looking good. Not Antifa, not ICE, not the feminists, not the patriots. It's a mirror to our culture saying you all look ridiculous. And in the end, you're just tearing the country apart while the next generation burns with you. And honestly, the only people who look like good guys in this movie are the illegal aliens that are getting deported. They're just trying to survive in this country while the Americans are trying to kill each other. But essentially, I give this movie 2 thumbs up. You just have to go into it viewing the bigger picture and try not to get so triggered by one side or the other. And also, I think it's kind of funny how their code word is a lyric from Gil Scott-Heron's Revolution Will Not Be Televised. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction. That's funny because honestly, I probably could have infiltrated their gang with their code word. Because I'm a gigantic Gil Scott-Heron fan. I actually saw him the year he died. R.I.P. to Gil Scott-Heron. But I love this movie. All I know is, man, I do not recognize this world today. I'm trying to move up to the woods so I can just avoid all this shit. But to the rest of you, if you've seen this movie, let me know your thoughts on it. And if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. But this shit's got trigger warning written all over it. And shout out to Paul Thomas Anderson. He's got another gem in the books with this one. And to the rest of you, I hope you have a good night. Be safe, don't abandon your children, and God bless.